Thermal Sound Wave. It's Thermal Sound Waves, the natural alternative to fast food radio. We hear C-Truth, Kevin Lawrence.
That's right.
Right about now, coming into the house, joining us, we have a person who knows the stage well.
Yeah.
Knows film well.
And he's also child friendly.
Yes, and children friendly as well. You know, he's done a lot of work on screen, on TV.
Yep.
And such, and he goes by the name of Ron Nery, and we know him in a different capacity as far as like projects we've done with him as well.
Yeah,
but we don't get into all of that as far as like what he's doing.
Some people know him as Ronnie Boy too.
That too, as
I think
well.
It's Ronnie Boy. Is it Ronnie Boy?
Yeah.
I think it's Ronnie Boy.
I believe so.
Yeah,
I believe so. Yeah. Well, anyway, without further ado, joining us right now, we have Mr. Ron Nery here with us on the program, Thermal Sound Waves. What's going on, sir?
Hey. Happy to be here, man. Long time no see, long time no talk. So I'm happy that you guys hit me up.
Oh, no question, no question. Yeah, well, you know, the world goes round and round. You've been up to a lot of different things. We've been moving and grooving as well. So we're going to let the people know a little something about what you've been up to. But before we do that, let's give them a little history on Ron Nery.
He got a lot of history. He has a lot of history, and he's not even near even starting it. He has a lot of history, man.
No question.
I talk highly of him. I love talking highly of him. And, you know, before you get to that, C-Truth, I apologize. I know you said long time no hear and long time no see. However, when you can still make a phone call and you get to that person, then you know it's like, yeah, the connection's still there. We still there.
Absolutely. 1,000%, man. And it's like I, recognize your voice and never forget it, man.
No doubt, no doubt. So where did it start for you and begin for you as far as like the entertainment game? Like, was that always your path? Like, did you always want to, be a performer on stage, whether it be singing, acting, and such? How did it all start for you?
Yeah, man. So I'll try to keep it as short as I can, but I've always had the interest in being in entertainment in some capacity, be it acting or something like that. Ever since I was little, I recall like wanting to get into acting and stuff. But then my parents weren't really necessarily the most supportive of it. It's kind of weird in the Philippine community. It's like they want your kids to, learn piano and sing and all this stuff, but then they don't necessarily want you to do it as a profession, And so I've always wanted to do it since I was a little kid, but because I didn't have the support, or maybe we just lived too far from LA at the time, like I wasn't able to do it. And so I just went through life. Like, I went to high school, I went to UC Riverside, and I've always loved dancing. So when I was in college, I joined a hip hop dance crew called 909. And then after I graduated from school, I moved straight to LA, and I kind of went into the corporate life, working for different movie studios like Lionsgate, MGM Studios, and Disney ABC Television Group. And so as all of this was going on, it would kind of begin to gnaw at me that I never really did anything that I truly wanted to do with my life. I would see friends who I used to dance with in school, like go on to dance for like huge artists like Beyonce and whatever. And I would sometimes go to their shows, like if they were doing theater, and I would watch them. And theater isn't really my thing, but I would watch them anyway to support, because I'm down for supporting any friend and stuff. And I would watch them on stage, and I would think, man, how come I'm not doing that? Right. And so I just decided, like, one day, like, I was talking to one of my coworkers, and he knew all about me and what I was good at and stuff and what I could potentially do. And he was like, why don't you try to get into acting and start off with commercials or something? And I was like, okay. And so I did some digging around, did some research. I got some headshots done, and I submitted them out to like all the agencies in town in LA. And out of like over 100 agencies, I think like one or two hollered at me. And
only one or two.
That's all it takes.
Let people know that again. After 100,
exactly.
over 100 agencies, only one or two.
That's all it takes, though.
Exactly. So one hollered at me, and then sure enough, I started to audition, and then it took a minute, but then I kind of at first I just wanted to book some commercials and make some bread off of it, but then once I actually started booking, and then I booked my first television show in 2016, I started to take it really serious, because I realized how much I loved doing it. Not just making money, but like being on set and, learning scripts and then putting my own spin on things. And I began to fall in love with it. So I took it very seriously. I took classes and everything. And then eventually I kind of had to make the decision to to either stay at Disney or leave it and try to jump in with both feet and pursue it full time. And so I did. You know, it was tough because, you know, I was used to having, you know, salary, benefits, all that stuff. But then I wasn't truly happy, even if I was good at what I was doing in the corporate world. And so I dropped it. And I've been acting ever since, and I haven't looked back. So everything's been good, man.
No question. Was that show Bits and Pieces, the one that you got in 2016?
No, that was like a web series I did. Like I did web series and short films prior to being on TV. But my first TV joint was it was a funny show. It was called Sex Sent Me to the ER.
Oh.
Yeah,
shout out to you know what, I ain't gonna say it. I ain't gonna say it.
Yeah, no, but that was on TLC, and it was It was a scripted show, so I had lines. I was the guest star of the show and everything. But then once I quit the corporate world and I started taking classes and focusing solely on acting, that's when I started booking more stuff. And so I booked a lot of shows throughout the years. Like in 2021, I booked Good Girls on NBC, General Hospital, Why Women Kill,
General
which is
Hospital?
CBS Paramount Plus.
So wait, hold
whoa, you're going too fast.
Slow down. Why do women kill?
Everybody has their motives, man. You know,
I have a couple answers, but I want to see what he says.
Right.
I don't know. People, I personally would never kill anybody. You know what I mean? So I don't know. There's some crazy people out there, man.
Right, there are. Shout out to
For
I ain't
sure.
gonna say the name. But go ahead.
Yeah. But as far as music is concerned, man, I only really got into it in 2019, and that's when I was going as Ron Velvet. And if you guys remember, you know,
I do remember
singing. Yeah,
yes,
Ron
sir.
Velvet.
So that was fun, but like I did so many tracks, dude. I have over 30 joints that like are sitting on a hard drive now that never were released and stuff. And it's because COVID happened shortly after, and COVID like messed up my whole momentum, dude. I had a couple of shows I was doing. People were coming out. Like a lot of actor friends were like, "Wow, Ron, you can sing," and I was like, "Yeah, I'm Filipino. I've been singing so little." But yeah, man, COVID happened, and I maybe dropped like 2 other singles, and that was it. And so I wasn't really getting traction because I make club bangers, you know. And if all the clubs are closed, what am I supposed to do? Nobody's listening to my music, you know. So, and so I took a break from music for a minute, and then 2 years ago, I hit up my producers, and I was like, "Yo, you guys want to try something different?" They're like, "What's up?" I said, "Let's go do kids music." And they're like, "What?" And I said, "Listen, we're going to keep the same sound that we do because that's what like our peers love listening to, but we're going to change the lyrics for kids." And so that's when Ronnie Boy Kids was born. And since then, like the feedback and the exposure and everything I've accomplished since is like everything I wish Ron Velvet could do, but that it's so hard to do that like pop R&B when it's so saturated, you know. So fortunately, like what we're doing right now with the kids music is very different. I personally don't know any other children's artists who are doing what we're doing in the style and in the manner that we're doing it in. And so everything's been cool. You know, my YouTube channel is gaining traction every day. I checked Pandora today and we hit over 52,000 monthly listeners on the music.
Wow.
So
nice.
Yeah, YouTube Kids, like there's a separate, I don't know if you guys knew this, but YouTube has a separate app for children.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they have millions of people who go on it like every day. And because they like me and my music and my videos so much, usually when I release a video, they more than likely will feature it on their front page on their app. And so like all these kids will like see it. And so I get a lot of like, you know, a lot of love, you know, and it spreads to other platforms too. And so, yeah, that's as short as I can keep it, man. But
that's great. That's great. Did you grow up in what city did you grow up in California? Was it Riverside or was it somewhere else?
Well, I was born in Anaheim, but then I moved to Corona when I was in elementary school, and then
so you part of the IE.
Yeah, the IE, and then I went to UC Riverside, so I was there for several years, and then after that I went straight to LA. But yeah, I've pretty much been in. I grew up in the IE, but I spent most of my life in LA.
SoCal.
Going back to the music part, as far as like doing the music for kids and for children, what are some of like the outrageous or strangest things that you've gotten, either requests or just comments from parents, being that you're in that world now? Because the children are fine. People don't understand. Children
it's
are
never
great.
The children's fault.
It's the parents that are like out of control.
They can be, but like I said earlier, man, the style of music that I do, we put out kids bangers, really. And so everyone, for the most part, is very receptive to what we're doing. And so I haven't really seen, at least as far as from parents, I haven't really seen any outrageous comments or anything like that, because parents trust me, and they like the music. They love the messages I'm putting out. And I don't have any scandals or any crazy stories. And so they've done their research
they're
on
watching.
me, and
They know they can't wait to find something and blame you or link you to it. And it's a sad reality. It really is a sad reality. And in some cases, you have some people that use, the kid stuff as a gateway for their own agenda. And
totally,
it's the ultimate trust to leave a child watching somebody or with somebody.
Yeah, absolutely. So like I said, fortunately, parents trust me with my music and my videos, and they could, I think, for the most part, see my heart in the messages through my songs, So if I had any feedback, honestly, it's usually from like teenagers and maybe young adults and stuff, like on TikTok, like. And that's when I realized, like, on social media nowadays, man, there's like so much negativity on it, man. Because here I am, a children's musician, for crying out loud, who puts out cool stuff that bangs, and I have good messages. But then there's still like, teenagers or whoever out there who like just will like say the meanest things you could ever say to somebody, to me. And I'm just like, what the heck? Like, I'm a good guy, like, why would you even say stuff like that to me? But it's just people, I don't know, just don't have, have too much time on their hands, or they have nothing to better do, or maybe they're just going through stuff themselves.
Many people feel like it's sad to say, it's almost like it's a culture.
Yeah, it's
a
culture,
trend to say mean things to people, or to start with negativity. It's a trendy culture. It's not a good one, but it's a trendy culture to do so, and it could make you respond back to them. And when you respond back to them, then that's when you're the bad guy, and that's when they show what you said.
Right.
But they don't show how it led there. You defending yourself. So it's a weird thing, and this is why sometimes they say people shouldn't manage your own accounts on social media, because somebody should filter what things you should see and what you respond to, because it could also hurt your brand. And then it could be like, nobody will care about what somebody said to you or did to you first. They just want to know what you said, and they'll be like, okay, we can't have you around these people. It's like, well, I'm defending myself. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
But I think go ahead. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I think because I handle all of my own stuff, my own social media, I actually use everything as fuel. And also it just kind of opens my eyes to a lot of different things. And at first, like maybe when I first launched Ronnie Boy Kids and some people were saying some mean stuff to me, I took offense to it a little bit, but not, I wouldn't take that much offense to it, because I've been in the game. I've been an actor for almost a decade now. And so I already knew, like, when I made the decision to be in the public, to be a public figure, that it would come with maybe things that I'm not fans of. Right. But then, like, again, it also makes me think, like, what their background is. Why would you think to say something, rude to someone that you don't know? And it makes me think, man, maybe they got bullied growing up, or maybe, not trying to make excuses for people who do bad things, but it kind of makes me give them grace a little bit and wonder about their backstory. So I never really get mad anymore at anyone, even if they say like crazy stuff to me. I'm just like, oh, I wonder what their story is, and I use it in some of my songs. Like I'm working on my third album right now. It's called Ronnie Boy Land, and it's due to drop on August 28th. And like I address things like this, man. I have a song called Sticks and Stones, and I got one of my homeboys to rap on it with me, and we address like negativity and negative behavior and all that stuff. And so, hey, at the very least, I get a song out of it.
No question. It's Thermal Sound Waves, the natural alternative. We hear C Truth, Kevin Lawrence talking to entertainer, writer, performer Ron Nery here with us on the program. 2 questions. Do you have any plans to take what you're doing as far as with the children's work to like either animation or do some films with that? And second question, totally different, with the soap operas, because you've done quite a few of those. Why do you think they're still popular in this day and age? The soaps and telenovelas and stuff like that.
Yeah. Okay. So to answer your first question, currently I am working on some things. I think something I can talk about is I've been in talks with the Philippines. Their biggest network out there is ABS-CBN. It's kind of like an NBC or a Fox, like, from here. But Fortunately, through much discussion and stuff, we're gonna have my show Ronnie Boy Kids on their network, and so
Wow.
beginning August 1st, I believe. I still have to confirm the dates, but they're gonna start airing my show and my stuff you could find on my YouTube channel, like on their network worldwide. So everybody who subscribed to the Filipino channel on ABS-CBN, or they're gonna be airing it on their network over there in the Philippines.
Shout out to all the Pinoys out there. Pinoy, what up?
Yeah,
And the
absolutely.
Pinays, yeah.
For sure. But as far as like animated shows, that's totally something that I've thought about for a long time. And eventually I would like to hopefully work with like a Disney Jr., a Nick Jr., in some capacity and develop some kind of show. So definitely in the goals for me. I just don't know when, because I'm just so focused on putting my album out right now. And then your second question about soap operas and why I think they're still popular. Honestly, I am not sure, man. And the thing is, like, I actually watched them growing up, especially during the summers when we had a 3-month break. Like, I grew up watching Young and the Restless, Bold and the Beautiful, like all that stuff. And as a kid, I was still thoroughly entertained watching it, even if the content was for adults. I remember during summers, my mom or my grandma would record it on VHS, and then when we get home from school, or even during the school year, we get home and we watch it.
I hated it.
I always been a fan of it. So to actually be on shows like General Hospital and Bold and Beautiful later on in life was crazy. Like when I booked Bold and Beautiful, I told my family, and they're like, "What? You gonna be on B&B?" And I was like, "Yeah."
Listen, I hated that. My babysitter, my sister, they used to watch it. I hated it. However, if Bold and Beautiful says, "Hey, see Truth, come on, we want you on the show," I love it. I love it. Get me on there. I love it. Yes, they're the greatest shows ever. But
Right. Yeah. So
what are my cartoons?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't really. I mean, I don't think it's bad. Like I think the
No,
stories are
I'm just curious as to your views on it. I didn't say there was anything wrong with them. It's just they have their audience, but I'm just curious as to why you feel they're still popular.
They did take a hit during the reality TV show era, though. They did take a hit.
I think it's just something that's consistent, and people like tuning into stuff that's consistent. Like some of the storylines are a bit crazy, admittedly, especially the episode that I was on. But like again, it's consistent, and you just develop a love for like these characters and stuff. And I think the acting is really good on it, because I've been doing soaps now for a few years, and they're some of the hardest working actors, because like we'll get scripts 6 to 10 paid like plus, a lot of stuff we have to memorize. And the crazy thing is, like, the day of the shoot, like things could change real quick, and then you have to forget everything you've been practicing and adjust. And so these actors, like, everybody's a beast who's on a soap opera,
right, which is why they could do anything. That's a whole nother conversation. As far as advice you would give to, and we're running out of time, so we're gonna wrap this up. There's so much we could get to. We're gonna have to have you back, because there's a lot of things that we got to touch upon, but we just don't have the time right now. But for someone who's Filipino, what advice would you give to someone who's trying to get into the business and do some of the things that you're doing and actually represent for Filipinos, which we don't see a lot of, or at least we're not told who is Filipino that's working within the industry, so that we know that they are represented?
Yeah, because they feel like a lot of people, if you are somewhat Asian descent, then you have to be Chinese.
Yeah, there's all different types of
whole different types
people of Asian descent. It's
Absolutely.
like it's not one brand, one people. It's many different.
Right,
so.
and that in itself is a conversation too with Filipinos amongst other Asian stuff. But we'll get to that another day. But the advice I would give to any Filipino kid or any kid in general, if they want to get into what I do, I would just say follow my lead. Follow my lead, and I don't just do music just because I like doing music. I do it to inspire. You could hear it through the messages in my songs. And honestly, what it takes is just doing what you love, and tuning out all the noise, And so I liked acting, even though I was in a corporate environment and I was making, my salary, good money, benefits, all that stuff. I was like, I'm not truly happy doing this, But by that point, I saved enough money to carry me through for a while in case like acting or music wasn't, didn't work out for me. So I was smart. I came with a backup plan as well, But ultimately, you had to follow your heart, because because life is so short. You honestly never know when your last day is, and that's the truth. Not trying to sound corny or nothing like that, but it's the real truth. The seed truth, man. But yeah. So you want to do music, get into music. You want to do acting, get into acting. You want to be a fireman, learn what you got to do to be a fireman. So just don't jump into it blindly, but do your research and decide for yourself if it's something you truly love doing. And sure enough, you'll see the fruits of your labor, and you'll see some success. Sometimes it comes earlier for others, and sometimes it takes multiple decades just to even see quote unquote success. But as long as you love what you're doing, that's all that really matters. All the other awards and accolades is just fluff, man. Happiness is trumps everything else.
Absolutely. There you have it, folks, from the mouth of Ron Nery, entertainer, dancer, singer extraordinaire. You've seen him on Why Women Kill, Good Girls, General Hospital,
Bold and Beautiful,
The Bold and the Beautiful, No Room for Love, and many, many other things still to come. And of course,
Ronnie
the big Ronnie Boys children's series and on their YouTube channel and so forth.
Shout out to the Philippines and their network.
Absolutely. Make sure y'all check for that and let people know where they could get in contact with you as far as your social medias and all that kind of stuff.
Everything at Ronnie Boy Kids. That's Instagram, YouTube, Pandora, Spotify, whatever you think, man. Just at Ronnie Boy Kids.
Oh, definitely. And listen, shout out to you because, like I said to you earlier, off air, obviously, we see this as the new Pee-wee's Playhouse. And we see where it's going. And just listen, I let you know that you got to see Truth and Kevin Lawrence here. Just we trying to get up in there too. Come on, stop playing. Make us the mailman or something like Lawrence Fishburne when he was the mailman in Pee-wee's Playhouse. He was the mailman, right?
Yes, he was.
Yeah, he was the mailman. Man, look at him. He became in the Matrix and all that type of stuff. King of New York.
That's true, man. Man, I never forget where I came from, man. And so trust me, whenever I reach the top, I'm bringing the whole team with me. So I hope you guys got your acting chops ready, man.
Oh yeah, always working on it.
Oh yeah.
Yes, sir.
Appreciate you, man.
Yeah, man.
All right, man. Go back to working out.
All right, have a great one, man.
All right.
You too.
Yep.
Peace.
It's Thermal Sound Waves, a natural alternative to fast food radio. We hear C Truth, Kev Lawrence.
Yep.
Thermal Sound Wave.